In this video, we're going to talk about the differences between the 1/4 inch Tascam 388, the 1/2 inch Tascam 38, and then I'll also just tell you my thoughts what a cassette tape sounds like compared to both of these. Okay, so the Tascam 38 versus the Tascam 388. So in my course, I talk about how you can get a cassette recorder to sound like a Tascam 388. You can do some tricks to make a cheap cassette recorder sound like a Tascam 388. Those machines are kind of in the same realm, but there is a difference. And then once again, there's a little difference between the 388 and the 38. They're all just like an incremental step towards getting less hiss, more clarity. Think about it like a spectrum. Like on one spectrum, you have like the worst tape recorder, just tons of hiss, really low fidelity, imparts tons of character. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have a digital recording, just totally plain. Just starting with these two, I mean, you heard the samples. I think that this is a good shootout because I'm using the same preamps and the same drum set. So you're not changing preamps, so you can really hear what's going on. Any flickering sounds are almost definitely just crappy patch cables. I would avoid HOSA at all costs. I would invest in some quality patch cables because you're going to need them for a 38. That's the first thing. Second thing is that I feel like there is less hiss on the 38. There's also a little bit more high end, less of a woolly sound. And you're just getting closer. You're getting more fidelity, but it's not like day and night. Before I had these two things, people talked about how like, oh yeah, there's like no hiss on the 38. That's not true. And I know that not all tape machines sound the same. It could be that these two samples are not great, but the heads look pretty good to me. I've cleaned the heads on both of them. Actually, it's been a while since I changed the 388 head, so it might be that it needs a tune-up. A professional has never gone through that. It's just me, and I'm the one that cleaned the heads on the 38. Again, there'll be variation between machines. I think that if you're getting into tape recording, people like the 388 because it has a definable sound. It's somewhere between lo-fi but getting a little bit better, but still you can just push the pre's and it sounds awesome. You basically can't go wrong with the 388. It sounds really cool, but you might be able to get into one of these a little bit, probably a lot cheaper. So if you're on the market, I would go for the 38. It's going to be cheaper. They're going to go up in price. The 388 is almost impossible to get into. This thing, there's a lot of benefits. Like there's a little bit more clarity, there's less hiss, there's some more highs, there's a bit more openness to it.
It's got more power, better handling, it's got more leg room for your legs, it's got more power. You just said that.
It's cool for that reason, but the fact that this is all integrated, it's so easy. I mean, it's so simple to use, and pushing it, it's just, there's something about the whole unit and pushing it the final stage, and the fact that it plays nice with like DBX compressors that you can get for cheap, like vintage ones. It's just super fun. Could I get the 388 to sound like a 38? I mean, when you listen to it, you might, depending on what your source is, you might not be able to even hear a huge difference. There's not a world of difference, but there is. It really depends how closely you're listening. When I listen to both of these on laptop speakers, I can really hear the hiss. But when you move over to another set of speakers, like you're hearing the full spectrum, so it's a different situation. Well, that answered no questions whatsoever. You can hear the sample. Again, my recommendation would just be to get a 38 because it's probably a lot cheaper. It's a larger tape width, so there's probably more flexibility there.